What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the For Us podcast, the podcast for you.
And for us.
I like your little dress you got going on.
What?
It looks good.
It looked good. My outfit's fine. I was having an outfit crisis before this.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's just so hard, I feel like, being pregnant to dress.
Yeah.
Especially today is like the weather is weirding me out because it's warm.
Today is going crazy.
But it's fine because it's like we're inside so I can really wear anything. But I was just struggling and then I had to change and I got hot but now I'm fine.
I know you definitely, y'all. She got hot. She was like, I need to cool down before we shoot anything. I need to do this before we shoot anything.
Don't make it seem worse than it was.
No, it wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't bad at all. I don't know what I got going on right here.
Don't pick it.
Don't tell me what to do. But yeah, Portland, y'all, right now is actually absolutely wilding with like 70-degree weather. I don't know what we talking about.
I don't know if this is typical. Well, I think we've heard it's not typical for this time of year. It's like warmer than it usually is, but we're loving it.
We are loving it. I think tomorrow is supposed to be like 50 and rain.
How is that even possible?
I mean, living in Michigan, very bipolar weather. So we're
kind of used to that.
We're very used to it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Michigan, we're in the new setup, but it's kind of a little different. We're next to each other because we have some special guests with us today. Super excited about this. This has been some what word am I trying to say? Just something that it was supposed to happen a while ago. This is family. And for actually one person, I actually am very close with her brother, which we'll talk about that in a second. But you do the introduction.
No, I knew you were about to do that.
I knew I was going to do that.
I literally could like sense the way you were kind of like leaning.
Do the intro.
I would never do the intro.
She will do the intro one day, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the episode is for y'all, but it's definitely for us. They're on the edge of their seats. It's like they see the title. They see the thumbnail. Brian and Alexis Cole, welcome to the For Us podcast. Can we call you Lexi?
I was gonna say most people that are close, they call me Lexi.
Alexis, okay.
Yeah,
Alexis. Okay,
really?
Lexi, we family.
Yes, we're family at this point. So if you call me Alexis, I don't feel like we're family.
You're like that's a little too formal.
Yeah. Do people call you Sav?
Honestly,
do nobody call you Sav? Is that one of those things that everybody that people say like on? Because it says Josh and Sav.
That's so funny you say that.
No, people do call me Sav. I think it's became more of a thing like since social media kind of, but I always will like introduce myself like as Savannah.
And I only call her Savannah.
I was going to say I've never heard anybody since I've been here say Savannah.
I have a nickname for it.
3 syllables. Yeah,
but I know somebody that doesn't like to be called their social media name. And their full name is just as long as your name.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So she was like, I don't know why people call me this now. I'm like,
that's so funny.
Oh, good to know.
Right. No, yeah, I'm fine with whatever, but I feel like most people call me Savannah, right? Like in our life.
Yeah. No, your family sometimes
my mom calls me Sav and I'm like, bruh, why you call me Sav? That's weird. That was weird.
See, and I want to be in the family mode, so Savannah.
Yeah,
Savannah.
No. Y'all really came in here and stepping with the fits. I ain't gonna hold nobody up.
When I tell you we looked at George, we're like, we have to come correct.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same. He was like, this is my, I see Josh like, this is my fit,
Stop.
What she wearing today? What y'all wear? I was like, okay, hold on.
I know. And
that's why I had an outfit crisis.
Savannah legitimately changed from breakfast this morning, y'all.
I did. I was sweating. I was in like a sweater outfit and it's like hot.
It is hot.
But I was also moving a lot and then I'm pregnant, so it was a lot.
We had no idea that when we were going to, first of all, there's no other reason for us to be in Portland, Oregon.
That's very true.
Except for y'all.
That's real.
I would never be here except for y'all. But
I needed to know what was in Portland.
Know that we are going to be vacationing here
in
the
weather.
Because what's the weather in Michigan right now?
It's 40s.
40s.
Wait, wasn't
cold.
it just snowing like bare? Like
yes,
it was snowing. It was raining.
Gray clouds.
Gray clouds.
Yeah, that ain't
shivering. You name it.
Yeah,
all
the things.
Yeah.
So y'all said this is spring break.
When does it turn around? I'm asking them like I didn't live in Michigan, but I forget.
When does it turn
around?
When
does it start to
Well, I've been there.
When it feels like it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because April one time, or May one time, I remember it snowed. I don't know what year it was, but it...
No. We don't pack up our Michigan gear, whether like winter gear until June.
Until June.
Just like we stay ready. We don't even pack it up fully. We always keep a coat ready. We don't miss on that. We don't miss on that.
But yeah, y'all came in step. Where that jacket from real quick? Let me just, cause
I am a Zara girl, y'all.
Woo! I love Zara.
You love Zara.
Zara.
Where's that?
JLX label.
Zara
for kids clothes too.
Yes.
Absolutely. So cute.
I am
Y'all
a
are
Zara
people.
kid,
Yes.
Zara girl.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, do you have Zara?
This is Zara.
Zara.
This is
Yeah,
Zara
we
for
like
sure.
Zara.
Yeah, I know, because
I
I
wish
rock
we
that.
stepped out. I
But
wish
here's
we
the thing,
stepped
though.
out.
Zara has so much versatility in their clothing
I
that
agree.
you would have no idea that what I'm wearing here and tomorrow
Yep.
are completely different things, but they're
Yep.
both from Zara.
100%.
Yeah.
We Stanley, you're matching fully with your
I'm
whole
about to
entire
say,
fit
it's giving
today.
full
Thank you.
full
It's
color
giving
vibes.
This is
Full
like
neutral.
a really big cup, and I don't really have an easy
You
way.
can give it. You can just. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I have to go like under, so
I
it's kind of
feel
a
you.
big. I'll be better next
You'll
time.
be
with
But
that.
good.
with that, and this is how we know we're good because our lives are neutral. Like
Yeah.
we live
Yes.
in
Yeah, neutral clothes.
Our,
Yes.
our, bro, not even just clothes. Our
Oh.
our furniture, our
everything.
walls, our paintings.
That's real.
and our,
Yeah.
It's
Pictures.
that is our
That's the color
life.
palette.
right here.
Yes,
Yes.
We get
including
made
the couch.
fun
Add
of,
the
for
couch,
sure.
Listen
full
to-
color palette.
Yes.
Okay, before we get anywhere, people need to know who y'all are. Y'all, okay, to us, let's just start with us. Lexi, I went to high school with Lexi's brother. Shout out Armand. I know you watching, my guy.
Yes.
And that was my dude. There was a few people. I wouldn't say a few. Me and my brother, we knew of everyone at the school, but like
Y'all
there was
were
a
popular.
Stop. I'm saying that we weren't popular, but there was a few people that you just clicked with. Your parents just clicked with. Like, just like, they can be friends outside of high school. And our mom was one of those people, and he's always had good family, good friends. And now I'm finally meeting you.
Wait,
and
so
what?
y'all weren't in high school together?
No.
Okay.
No.
No,
age gap.
Brian,
4 years. She
Oh,
was
okay.
way
I always
out that
get the
boy.
boys mixed up.
Okay,
I
got
literally
it.
call because he has two brothers, I have two brothers, so I literally will say somebody's name.
Yeah.
Because I know who I'm talking about, but they know who I'm talking about. So I literally said Brian, and I meant Armand.
For sure.
Yeah.
But Armand, he was able to go to the nicer schools when he got older.
Go to the nicer school.
So he went to Bloomfield
Tell your
Hill.
story, baby.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he went to
Yeah.
Bloomfield
Sure, no
Hill.
That's real.
And so he went to school with him, and I'm 4 years older than
Okay.
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
so I was kind of out of.
You were out of high
when you were
school.
in,
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
in
way
high
out.
school.
Yeah, we graduated 2014.
Yes.
But anyways, then we found this amazing couple on social media, and then we start doing a deep dive. We're like, hold on, they live in Michigan.
Like, wait a minute.
Wait,
And this is at
hold
the
on.
time that y'all live in Michigan.
We live
Yeah,
Yes.
we live in Michigan.
And
Wait,
we were just talking about this. I'm so upset, like, that we
pissed.
didn't meet y'all
So
when
upset. It
we
was
lived there.
irritating.
so
I'm like,
it's
how?
very because then we realized we were like, because there's we have another close friends that live in Michigan, but they kind of live almost like an hour away. And then we started doing the deep dive. We were like, hold on, they
They're,
live
like,
low
in
key
our
around the
area.
corner.
Street.
You
This
know,
is-
but I'm actually glad because I would have been heartbroken.
Yes.
That
If
is
that would have
true.
happened. I would have been heartbroken. You know, we can't rely on
Yeah,
y'all. And
no.
I think God knew that.
That's so
God knew I
real.
couldn't.
That's so-
He didn't want my heart to get broken.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
and that's real.
And
That's
the truth
good.
of it is, I think Lexi, you hit them up. So we had been following
Yep,
you guys, kind
yep,
of watching.
yep.
Me and Josh
Like,
have been
doing some
hanging.
We've been
mutual
talking.
fun,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Lexi hits Josh up, or one of you, whoever was answering the DMs
Yeah.
that day.
Savannah
and was
don't
like,
answer DMs.
Really? Have
She
you
really
DM me
don't.
before?
She be so
Oh
busy.
my
When you were in
gosh.
Michigan, I was like, "Hey, we get our kids together." She
was like,
Yes.
I messaged Josh. Josh got me immediately. He
Wait,
was like,
I'm
"Yeah, we'll figure out a
sad.
In
way."
my defense, and in her defense, her requests go crazy, and she
I'm
probably
sure
didn't
it does.
see it.
That's
No,
fair.
it
That's
does.
fair.
Wait,
It
I'm
does.
so sad
That's fair.
though.
I know.
Well, y'all should have.
I say that
Well,
I'm
I
horrible
did-
at it.
well,
I'm horrible at it.
Okay,
It's
okay.
okay. I'm really bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
really
but
bad.
Lexi hits Josh up and was like, "Hey, we'd really like to get to know you guys. You seem like a really cool couple. Can we meet?" And they're like, "Yeah, so we're moving to Portland next
Crazy.
week or
Right.
something."
Yeah, it was very
like,
recent.
We're like,
It was so recent.
"Ew,
We're like,
okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
Well, this was cool talks.
Yeah.
Good
so-
times.
Well, you seemed cool.
But
Good luck.
But yeah, so we found them on social media and found out we had the mutuals. We found out today we have we know way more people than we thought in the beginning. And we were like, well, we need to get them on the pod because it just makes sense. And I'm so glad that we did. They literally flew out to Portland to hang out with us. And now we're here. Quick question. Do y'all call ice cream soft serve and hard serve? Or is it just, don't look at me crazy, Lexi, or is it just soft serve and what's the scoops? What
Ice
is
cream.
Ice cream.
That's a
yes.
weird question.
That's weird.
No.
That is the weirdest
Never
question.
been asked this question in
I
my
was
life.
so
You
shocked.
guys, because okay, thank you for reacting like that. Because Josh literally, he'll be like, "I really want hard serve."
Where did you live before this?
Is that a,
Who
like?
says
Did you
that?
grow up? Did you grow up in
That's
Michigan?
why I was
or is this
asking y'all
Brooklyn?
because y'all my
You thought-
Michiganders.
No, we
This
looked
is not
it
a
up.
Midwestern thing.
I
It's like
will
an-
not stand with you.
No, It's like an English. My sister looked it up. Yeah, my sister looked it up the other day because you asked her too, and she was like, "Bruh, no." And it's apparently like an England. Like it's a thing in England.
Well, I have some news. I am from England. No, I'm not.
But really fell off hard.
Okay, I've just been needing to have this conversation because I bring it up all the time. I say hard serve ice cream. Like you know what I'm talking about when I mean when I say
ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream.
But soft serve is ice cream.
Yeah.
So what do we call?
It's actually frozen yogurt.
Soft serve is frozen.
Wait,
no,
That is soft serve.
No. You're talking about like
there is frozen yogurt.
I worked. My first job was at a frozen yogurt shop.
Yes, that's why
I know about soft serve.
Yeah, she love a good mention.
That's why they call it frozen yogurt. But then there's soft serve ice cream. That's not yogurt.
No, that's the knockoff of
the
frozen
thing
yogurt.
that
Oh my gosh, it's weird.
the thing that I say is like, I just want ice cream, but I don't think I ever specify the soft or hard.
Well, yeah, because sometimes you don't want.
Yeah, you
we
just
assume
know
that it's not soft
and you
serve.
can say the place.
Really? Well, you assume that it's not going to be soft serve.
Yeah, no, when you say ice cream, it's hard.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then
Really?
when you say
Because
soft
I
serve,
say
it's soft serve.
But I think I say ice cream and I want Dairy Queen. And
No.
Dairy Queen
No, because
is.
I'll say I want Dairy Queen then.
Yes,
a
it
blizzard.
is your social responsibility to
blizzard.
clarify
Yeah.
soft serve.
Yes.
What'd you say?
Wait,
No, I was laughing at you saying a blizzard. Yes, that's what it was.
Like, I want a
Keep going, B.
blizzard.
No, it's your responsibility to clarify soft serve. If you say ice cream, there's no
okay.
need for clarification.
Got
Yes.
it.
If you're talking about soft serve, you have to clarify.
It's
Yeah,
a
if you
difference.
really
It's
want
a difference.
that.
Like, oh, that's something unique. That's not. You
you
don't
say-
really see a lot of soft serve. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Do you say pop or soda?
I knew this question was coming. I say pop.
Okay, my man.
Pop is
I say
Midwest.
pop.
You say
Pop.
pop. But you said it too on the West
Sometimes
Coast.
I say soda,
Yeah.
but I think it's just because I don't know.
Sometimes
actually.
I feel like I want to say soft drink just to sound.
I say
you know.
soft
Soft
drinks
drink is fancy.
soft
I
feel
was
like
like, I
adult
want
when I
a
say it.
soft drink.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
soft
really
drinks you
feeling
have.
It
like
makes
a
me
soft
feel like
drink.
the person that says, I want what is that water? I want sparkling.
Oh, yeah.
Sparkling.
Sparkling
What
is
is that
still-
water?
I hate sparkling.
You guys don't like sparkling water?
G.
Not regular sparkling.
Well, we like
Flavored.
flavored, like it's supposed to be like
I
pop.
like flavored.
Oh, that's
yes,
different.
Yeah,
yes.
that's
very
different.
But I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like regular
sparkling water.
yeah,
Yeah, I
like
really
they
can't.
ask you at the restaurant sparkling or still.
Yeah.
I always would want still.
Yeah,
No.
I really thought y'all were gonna be on board with me with the hard serve, but
Oh,
that
I'm
went the
sorry.
total
Wow.
opposite
Babe, I
way.
need to talk to your
Unfortunate.
family about this information because obviously
Something happened in
they
his
may know
childhood. Seriously.
about
Man, I was
that.
like, maybe it's a Brooklyn thing. Did you like?
Oh,
No,
could
I
be.
don't think I heard it in New York.
Maybe it's just a you thing.
If it makes you feel better,
Maybe
I
it's
don't
just a
say
me.
I don't say words like super clear because my family's from Georgia, so
Okay.
I say red.
Oh, it's the funniest
Thank
thing in
you.
the world.
Wait, hold on.
She says, "All right,
Lexi, thank
This
you.
is a really big moment.
This is a big moment in our relationship. Hold on, hold the press.
You guys, Josh says red.
I say red, and she
I
makes
always
fun
make
of me.
fun of him.
Oh.
And I don't say it. I don't. It's not like we're
Absolutely.
saying
On
it
the same
country.
page.
I'm
We're just
yes,
saying red.
No, you,
Red.
Red.
it sounds aggressive. It sounds aggressive.
No, it doesn't.
I'm so happy for this information. Wait, what else?
Wow.
I feel like there's something else you say.
Red.
Oh, Brian will know all of it. I
So
say
the problem is I didn't know what things were Southern things versus what things were different cultural things.
Right.
Gotcha.
So she says wolf instead of wolf.
Wolf.
I pronounce that
Yeah,
L.
yeah.
It's in there.
Yeah.
We're gonna say
Vault.
the L.
Vault.
What's
Like
that?
a vault.
Oh, vault.
Vault.
You said, what is that?
Like a vault.
A volt.
Like
A
V-A-U-L-T.
vault?
So you are trying to be English.
A volt.
A vault.
A volt.
A vault.
I don't know how I say
I got
a
it.
vault.
I got these ideas in the
A
vault.
vault.
I pulled it
I
out.
got
of
these
the,
ideas in the vault.
In the vault.
What do I say?
a
Vault?
What is it?
What do I say?
Vault.
Vault.
Normal.
Because
I say a vault.
Yeah, vault.
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 Because there is
I don't
a
know
vault.
what I say now.
I know what a vault.
It's like
V-O-L-T.
a
Off
vault
guard.
of energy. That's like something different.
That was another one.
Anyways.
Vault.
I'll say towel.
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 Towel. What is it?
Towel. Wait, I don't know
Towel.
actually.
And you're like, I know you messed up. I
Towel.
know, we know.
Towel.
But I'll say if you're talking about like the I hate the way. The tile.
Oh, the tile.
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 Oh, T-I-L-E. Oh,
Yes, I
tile.
say tile.
She says tie.
I say tile. I say
You,
tile.
what would you say? Tile.
Tile. Tile.
No.
Tile.
Yeah, you would not say. You would not say tile.
Tile.
Wait, I think we're all changing it right now because
Yeah,
we're
because,
sure
yeah,
what
we're
we say.
yeah.
Very
Like,
self-conscious.
I don't know
You
what
probably
it
won't
actually is.
pay attention to it until you actually say it, and then you're like, oh wait,
That's how
I
I
do
say
say
it.
it
Yeah.
differently. Yeah.
Wow. Y'all coming on will let us know what y'all be saying because Savannah, I think we said on the vlogs, red. I say red.
Red.
But I don't say it
I
red.
like it.
I just red.
Well, and I
Thank
like
you.
I
I say it
emphasize
just like
it.
that.
Thank
yeah,
you.
and it's normal. It's like been like a
What do you
joke
say?
between us.
Red.
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 It was red.
Red.
It's red.
I like red better,
It's
honestly.
Tangent. This was us at breakfast this morning.
We covered 137 topics in an hour.
100%. But I will say, y'all said y'all do like episodes like this because this is family, so we're just going to be here in the living room. We're almost making this a living room. Have y'all noticed this? It's made its way.
Is this you?
That's me. It's made its way on this set by accident, but then we kept it because it just feels like living room vibes.
Is that Shelby Township?
That's Shelby Township. So that's where I grew up, Utica, Shelby.
Oh, really? East.
Yeah, I'm so white through and through. Josh, what? But
we're getting into that.
Yeah, no, we're getting there. We'll go there.
We're going there.
But anyways, so for people who don't know, like intro is 30 minutes long.
Yeah, they're like, I think we know now.
Yeah, we know them personally, obviously. But on social media, this couple, this family, because they have a beautiful family. They have a baby boy and they have a baby girl, and they have documented so much, so much good stuff. But it's like it's not even too personal or whatever. Because I know you guys have done your birth story and the birth vlogs and things like that, but you guys also tackle real life problems and real things, and y'all just real. We have a thing when it comes to like watching certain content. It has to feel genuine. It has to feel authentic, and you guys portray that. But you guys have created a big following on TikTok, Instagram, and now you guys have just launched a podcast, which is super fun. We're going to plug it at the end, but we're going to be on their podcast, so y'all definitely have to go check that out.
Probably in the exact same clothes that we're wearing.
And the exact same everything.
Right here.
And I just think it's just so awesome that Brian, he just quit. Was it a corporate job?
Oh, yeah.
Brian.
Wait, I have to hear about this. I don't even know.
That's where I'm trying to get there.
Okay, I need to hear it too. This
Brian, up until like a couple months ago?
January.
3 months ago.
January.
Yep. Wow.
Quit his corporate job to do what they're doing now full time. And I want to talk about that too, because people look at us kind of crazy because we do what we do full time. And some people can be, not so nice about it either. Like, why don't y'all just go and get a real job, or why don't y'all go and do that? I need to know, for starters, what was that job, but how has that transition been with you guys being able to dabble?
That's a good topic.
Let's just start there.
We getting there already. Okay.
Wait, and also, can we know what you did before, like what you did for work?
Yeah, I was a mascot actually.
You're lying.
Wait, I'm like, this is not what I was doing.
This is so great because y'all don't know us at all, so I can like legitimately say anything and you're gonna believe it. And this is so
we all in this together. Come on, fam. Let's go, fam.
All right, so I was a very I always say I was a very strange millennial because I worked at the same company for 9 years. So that was not a typical millennial experience.
Wow.
So I came out of college and started working in sales. So it was software sales. So I took on a position and did well my first 2 years. I struggled for a little bit in the beginning, but then I picked up. I did really well. I made some like president's clubs and everything. The reason why I stayed with them for so long is because I kept getting promoted every 2 years.
Yeah.
My income was like financially significantly increasing. It wasn't like, oh, you get a 3% bump. It was like 20%, 50% bumps. Like,
so why would you leave? Exactly. Yeah.
Because people leave because they're like, oh, I can market myself better. I'm like, I'm consistently getting more.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
We would go on very nice trips, and not the trips that you would go on where it was like, oh, we have meetings, you have to do these things. Like, no, go on a trip, have fun.
Oh,
everything's paid for. We went to like
5-star resorts.
I know.
Yeah.
We're talking about nice resorts. It was beautiful.
This is benefits of that job.
Yeah.
A lot of benefits.
That's
And so, this kept happening. I got promoted to a director role and then another director role and, all these things. And so life was good. Our company went public. And to be honest, like we got some early stock in that.
Wow.
We were like, things were just moving and grooving.
Yeah.
So we started the YouTube channel, which progressed into Instagram, TikTok.
For sure.
It all of a sudden, a couple years go by. Now we're making the same as much as I'm making. And I'm making, I don't want to say
you're making
sound weird, but
enough.
I'm doing well.
You're doing
right?
good.
Like I'm doing well in my corporate position.
I mean, you can talk about how much money you made.
That's weird.
Hey, we in a safe place here, but you can whatever you don't have to. Yeah.
I mean, it was like $250,000. Like one
Come
year was
on.
like 300. So it was
That's
like
real.
as a young person, it was a very successful career that I had a pathway lined up for me.
Great.
For sure.
We started doing well with the business on the side, which was a side hustle. And
Right.
really, we didn't even do it for business purposes. We just did it because we are passionate about
we had no, I mean, people say that all the time that we have no intention of making money. We legitimately had no intention. We thought that this could be like a young, because we were doing young adult ministry. We were like, okay, let's like get some young adults on social media and we form a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the crazy part of the story. I'm going to try to keep short because it's an in-depth story. Lexi knows I can monologue. I can go. I'll preach to you if you want me to. No, but long story short, a year and a half before I quit, I was in a director role that I had been killing for years. And when I say I have not had a bad year at this company, I've been like top.
You was in your bag. You was in your. Hey.
People knew me.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying. Like executive level knew me, and all of a sudden, this 1 year, it felt like I could not do anything that was turning into success. I was managing a team. I was working harder, longer. I was giving it everything I was praying like, what am I doing wrong? Long story short, skip past a lot of stuff. God told me in May that I am letting this happen because you need to transition out. Wow. And he said, I'm the type of person that is very loyal. And I am not a quitter. I will not quit anything. Yeah. I will see it through until the very end. And God told me that the only way I was going to get you out of this position was to purposely sabotage your career here. And so to the point where, and sabotage may be a strong word, but to the point where I then, because of that year and because of what God was showing me, I then requested a demotion. And I said, and people were very confused, but I was like,
why would you do that?
I need to create more balance in my life. This is starting to get out of control. I'm spending too much time. My family is getting hit, whatever. And so I was like, I need to step back. So I took on a lesser role, made less money for 6 months. And God showed me, I'm only giving you 6 months and it's time to go. So he told me, you need to quit on January 1st, literally the day, January 1st, you need to quit. There was a Sunday in May that we went to church, and I won't give the whole story. 10 different things. I've documented all of this. 10 different things in the matter of from the moment I walked into church and the moment I left church. 10 different things happened back to back to back to back that confirmed that I need to leave and quit on January 1st. Like, it is mind-blowing things that God allowed to happen in such a small time. I'm just going to give one. Just a part of it, God said, I need your money to be more liquid because cash flow is now going to be something you need to consider more because, and he didn't even tell me why. This is before he told me to quit. He told me to quit about an hour after this. He said, I need you to pull a lot of the money that you have in these investments, pull them out and put them in your account. Literally in church, I said, okay, I messaged, I did it. 2 to 3 weeks later, I found that if I kept my investments there, we would have lost half of it. Like significant amount of money. And he said, you need to be more liquid. We need to shift this money over. That was just one of the things.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all these things were lining up. And then finally, God had turned my heart into a position of softness to be able to even hear him say, you need to quit. Because when I tell you my stubborn self would,
you didn't want to.
No.
So
obedience.
January 1st, that was the day. I literally messaged my VP at 11:45 at night. Because I'm like, I don't want to ruin her New Year's.
Right.
But God said January 1st. And I'm going to do it. I'm not waiting until January 2nd.
Yeah.
I emailed her. I called her first thing in the morning and explained. And the rest is history.
Wow.
That's so fresh.
That's so fresh. Y'all are like in it right now. So were you ready to be a stay-at-home wife, mom? Like, were you?
I mean, I was already. I mean, it's so weird because I feel like
you were not you have not been a stay-at-home mom for 3 years.
Yeah, I haven't been because I was full-time already. I was doing
social media.
So I was editing.
I was taking time.
Yeah, I was taking. I mean, y'all know this stuff takes time.
Yeah,
right.
So it would be hard to manage the kids, do this full-time, and then the time that Brian had an ounce of time during the day, we would try to shoot something, but a lot of times it would have to be at night, at weekends. It would be hard.
It's a lot.
Were you? What was your honest reaction when he said he doesn't want to do his corporate job anymore?
Ooh, go ahead.
Let's be real about that.
So let's be real. In the beginning, I've always wanted Brian to quit. I always wanted Brian to be done because the truth be told is that, like Brian said, we were making the same amount at one point.
We were making more.
We were making more money.
But giving up $250,000 a year is a lot to give up.
100%.
Right.
And you know that check is coming too. Let's talk about that. With social media, we don't know. Yeah, exactly.
So I always wanted Brian to quit, and I grew up with a bunch of family that's entrepreneurs. You know that, like a lot of my family are like, take the leap, take the jump.
Yep.
Right.
So, but when Brian actually told me, he wasn't in a good spiritual place. And I am a firm believer that if you are going to do it, then we need to be under God's cloud.
Great.
Like you cannot tell me that you are going to do something and you're not in this for real. Like you're not really doing this thing where you are speaking to God. You're actually hearing from God. I believe that you heard from God. But my thought was, are you going to continue to know what the next steps look like for us? And I said, I need you to get your spirituality together. As far as consistently having relationship with him, if we're going to take this jump together.
Wow.
Yeah. It was hard.
For sure.
Because this was the year, and this is a long story that we've shared, is that Brian was struggling for years, kind of like on this roller coaster, because there's been some church hurt that was over the years. And it was kind of like this roller coaster where he was trying to find God. I'm keeping this thing. Yeah. But trying to find God. I know, I'm talking.
I do that too.
I know, I'm like I'm a hands person, but he was not really trying to find God, but trying to build relationship and trying to really hear. That was a huge struggle. And that year that that God told Brian to quit, I was like, you need to get your spirituality together. Like, we cannot go a year of you doing this roller coaster, because that's not who you are. Right. That's not who I married. So I'm like, you need to get it together. And he did. And that's when he heard it.
It was like, you can hear from him, but then if you're not in a position to continue hearing from him after that, we're not about to take this leap just because he said it, if you're not going to do what it takes to continue.
Do the work after.
That's
yes.
right.
Yeah.
So I went through 6-month boot camp spiritually. Like, I really did. Like, we had made some significant progress with just my consistency and my prayer. My passion was coming back. Like, it felt like, again, it was just one of those things that triggered so much inside of me that decision to move forward wasn't just a leap of faith with like finances and all these other things. God actually shared with me, I'm about to make your entire life whole again in every aspect, from family dynamic and culture to your spiritual life and ministry. So now being in a position where I'm ready to get back into a ministry capacity, like all of these things are going to come together into this full picture. But I need to take the leap, because that leap of faith now put pressure on me to like, I got to be listening to him.
For sure. Last year was such a like strong shift for you. Like, I saw it. It was incredible, because before that January, that's when I told him, like, you need to get this together. Yep. We can't go another year like this.
Man, that is awesome. Lexi, did you always want to be doing what you guys are doing? Like, what was your dream before?
What was my dream? There was so many. I think I'm that floater person. Like, I was a creative that just wanted to, do something. Before, I was a social worker. So I did social work from the time that this sounds crazy, because I was literally a case planner, a case worker when I was 16.
Whoa.
I did psychosocials. I was doing like just casework. I worked for a youth home when I was 16, and I was doing social work from 16. I graduated my social work degree and continued social work until I was 22?
Yeah, something like that.
22.
Wow.
To not get into burnout, I decided this is not for me, because it was so much. It was very heavy. Yeah. And I said, I don't think I want to do this, but I wanted to use my skills for other things.
Right.
And that's what I feel like I use it for social media. We talk a lot about relationships, and we talk about our marriage and things that I utilize those tools for.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But you actually told me for years, you told me that your dream was to be a marriage and family counselor.
I did. And I thought that for years, that I wanted to do that. And then I wanted to be a photographer. And then I wanted to be, I thought it would be cool to be a DJ.
No way, a DJ.
That dream still lives.
For sure.
That dream,
see, and you can do it all though. That's the thing.
And if I show y'all some of like how I can flow in the music, if I keep the flow in the music for an hour, you'll be like, wow, like that was a good flow.
She can do that.
I'm sure there's a lot.
Trips, I'll just hand her them. I'm like, just take it.
You got the aux. Run it. Oh, we need to get you on the aux downstairs.
But I'm sure there's, DJs that's like, there's more to it. But I do think about that from time to time. But I always wanted to use and help people like with tools when it comes to relationships, because I feel like that's something that I use in our relationship.
That's great.
And I feel like that's what we do on our social media platform.
Yeah.
It just kind of share. We talk about like the hardest seasons of our marriage. We talk about the hardest parts of me as a mom, me as being with you as a wife in an interethnic relationship. Like we talk about all those things because I feel like it's going to help people.
I'll be honest. We did some homework on y'all podcast when you invite us out. And I was like, how deep do they go? Because I don't want to go too deep on their podcast. Like have fun. And we need to make sure we having a good balance of fun too.
No, we get there. We get there. Yeah, so we want to definitely talk about it. Let's talk about those struggles the stuff that y'all do talk about on your platform or whatever, since y'all here. Did you have a question?
Did I have a question?
Yeah, about the mom journey.
Oh, yeah. Just about like motherhood and kind of well, we can talk about like both what y'all walk through. You shared with us about your infertility. I know you guys have shared on social media too, your whole journey with that and IVF. But then also even just like stepping into postpartum with that too. If you had any struggles there, how that affected you, and then also like you guys as a couple too.
So, I didn't really struggle with the postpartum part. I think we struggled with how to manage postpartum.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a great way to put it.
You didn't have like serious emotional, I don't know what to call it. I don't know what the proper term is. Swings or baby blues, whatever the terms are.
I think everybody has like the baby blues, but then we're going to the postpartum depression.
Right.
Yes.
Everybody has, I think, well, at least I like to assume that people have, some
down,
like a down hormonal thing for like 2 to 3 weeks. And then when it continues, then it starts to get serious. But I don't think I had that. We struggled with Asa pretty hard the first couple of days.
That's your firstborn.
Yeah. Because, well, I don't know if you want to tell it.
Yeah, the mental shift that had to happen, and it was crazy.
You have a kid,
whirlwind.
Talk about it. That's it.
When I tell you, first of all, I've always been excited to be a father. Like I dreamed about being a father. And all of these things, I dreamed about the good stuff. I dreamed about the connection, the beautiful relationship I would have with my kids, my daughter, my son, all these things, right?
When we talk about somebody that was connected to the baby before the baby came, like Brian, like, and it's so interesting. I know you'll share that part, but when Asa was in my stomach, like he would be talking to the baby.
Yeah.
Probably more than I would. Yeah, more than I would.
So Asa comes out, and the first 3 days, I remember. So Lexi was bedridden. She, I forget what the term is. What happened?
Well, not bed. Yeah, it was. So being with a midwife, and this is something that we've talked about that has been very interesting. When you're with a midwife usually tells you that you need to be in bed for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And when that means like 3 weeks, that means like you really don't get out of the bed unless the first day you literally try to stay in bed to use the bathroom. The second day you can walk around a little bit. That's on the floor. The third week you're like, okay, I can go downstairs. I can do a little bit. Yeah. But you are really in bed for 3 weeks, which a lot of people were kind of shocked about.
So I had at that point now gone from like everything is normal to overnight, not only taking care of like a newborn, because now she's in bed. I'm changing the diapers. I'm like holding her. And obviously Lexi was doing her part for what she could. But there's just certain things that she just couldn't do, right? And so now I'm taking care of this baby, which in and of itself is now a whole new responsibility. Right. But now I'm also taking care of my wife too. And so that level of responsibility and, for lack of a better term, sacrifice, I was not accustomed to. And I was not like fully grasping it. I was missing it somehow. I don't know what it was, but my mind was just like foggy. And it came out in, the problem is too, Lexi and I are best friends. So if I'm going through something, I'm going to share it with her. Yeah. The problem is she's not in a place where she should be shared with these specific things.
Yeah.
Babe, I'm really struggling sacrificing for you right now. Like, how does that sound, right?
Yeah, in this moment, yeah.
So now I'm like, what absolutely comes across as complaining to my wife about me sacrificing for her when she just delivered this entire baby, went through 32 hours of labor, and she's like, you got the cojones to sit here and complain to me about what you have to go through and fully justify a response. It was finally on day 4 that she sat me down and was like, this needs to change. Like something is off and we're going to fix this. We had a long conversation and I don't know what it was exactly that was said, but it was like a light bulb just went off. And immediately I shifted from like being I don't want to say self-certain, but like self-focused to, okay, my life in this season is about sacrifice.
Right.
And now I'm like going to inherit a spirit of sacrifice to the best of my ability to just serve. Yeah. And that is the place I'm in right now, is service. So then it was like an overnight shift, literally an overnight shift.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think when you were talking, it's like you're talking to your best friend of like, hey, I'm really, I'm just struggling because I'm trying to do all these things and it's just really hard for me. And he's talking so calmly, but in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to hear.
You don't want to talk about
right
that
now.
for sure.
I don't want to hear.
We
it at all.
you guys, we can relate
100%.
to this so much.
Oh, I hear it.
Yeah.
I feel like I see what you're saying too, and I feel like we as like the woman, like I gave Josh zero grace, and I was like, I'm the one that went through all this, and this. You can't feel this type of way. And I think to a certain extent, he was like, now he's like, okay, I understand why she was feeling that way. Like saying what you were saying. But looking back, I'm like, okay, but you're also going through like a
for the first time.
Yes.
life shift.
Yes.
And I love that you say that, because I'm like, I gave him zero grace. I'm like, I don't care that your life, because to me in the moment, I'm like, his life is just continuing as normal.
Yeah, and as the dude,
but it's really not.
I literally didn't know what she wanted.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need? You're going through it like these first few weeks, like the baby not sleeping, we're crying, like it's a lot going on. But like, what can I do for you? I'm trying to be the man. I'm trying to lead the house. I'm trying to do this. And there was really nothing that I could really do for her besides just be there. Like there was nothing that I could say or nothing that I could, like she didn't want that. It's
and I think
hard.
it's hard because we're obviously both of us, all of us, any new parents are just figuring it out.
Right.
We both are like, we have no clue what we're doing. This is our first time doing this. Like, how do we navigate this? Yeah. And what do we do? Like, what do we do? I think
that's a real thing because it's like Brian is also going through postpartum too. And I know sometimes there's a lot of people it's very hard to hear that men are also going through postpartum.
For sure.
And they are trying to figure out how to navigate something that they have never navigated before. And I felt like there was a time where I was, those 3 days that I was giving you grace for that. But then the third day I was like, okay, baby, it's time to
that was
get up. Like
you did.
You
get up.
I gave it.
You can live it.
Right. Like, come on. We need to work together here.
So
come on.
This is a big conversation that Lex and I have been having. I would say this past year. Okay. And it touches so many different facets of life, but the conversation of comparison in general is so dangerous to compare anything. Anyone's experience, to compare that to another person. And and I'm sorry, but men, women, we all do it. Men compare, you're at home with the kids. That's easier than me going to get it and working all day and blah, blah, blah. Women compare it with, I just gave labor, so you don't get to complain. The comparison across the board is so dangerous because you invalidate the human emotions and the experience that person is going through. And we act like it has to be in levels, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
It's like, let's acknowledge that the experience that someone has, the feelings that they have are legitimate feelings and a legitimate experience.
That's great.
That needs to be coached through, that needs to be, handled delicately, whatever you want to call it. What does that have to do with this?
Right.
To bring them together.
Don't discredit that. Yeah.
Just because you did this doesn't mean my experience gets discredited.
Yeah.
Right?
That's really good. That literally happened, like something on a way smaller scale.
What?
But that literally just happened to us this morning. Josh was like, I haven't been sleeping well. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Do not say that to me.
Yeah.
I get up.
You get more than me?
I'm like, I get up 5 times a night because I have to pee and I don't sleep. I toss and turn all night. I'm like, you better not tell me that you have not been sleeping good. But then Josh was like, well, what? And I'm like, no, yeah, you're right. Like that, you're allowed.
That is natural to do.
That is natural to do.
It's a natural reaction to think about what you're dealing with.
Right.
And you have to, it is a hard, and Brian and I talk about this because it's almost like when we know that we need to reprogram our brain because it is hard to not think about what you are dealing with and and some of the main things that you're struggling with. And then somebody brings up, you're like,
that's not
I'm
half
sorry?
of what.
I'm sorry.
But that's the definition of empathy, right?
Yes.
Of being able to get outside of yourself, outside of your experience, and enter someone else's world from their perspective.
Yeah.
And it is wild to hear ourselves now analyzing how much it is just a knee jerk.
It can be such a
comparing to mine. Well, you don't know. why am I talking about me right now?
Right.
We were talking about you.
Yes.
All of a sudden, I shifted the conversation to me immediately. I didn't ask about, hey, I know you said you're tired. How are you feeling? Why do you think you didn't sleep well? Like, let's just keep the conversation on you. And then we can have a separate dialogue about me.
Don't gotta be that's so real.
Yeah. I needed this because I was like, need this more. That's a little quick.
Let me tell you something. It is a learned thing. We are learning as we're going.
For sure. Literally this morning, I was just like, why can't I be tired?
Yeah, it was a light moment.
Like, I'm about to wake up.
Yeah, I was.
I'm like, you don't get to be tired. Period. No.
Stay up.
Yes. That's so real. That's great. What so another thing that you guys also share on social media is, like you said, relationships. And I just love that you were a social worker. And like you said, your dream was to do like the marriage and like the counseling, and that could have been, but y'all are doing that like through everything that y'all are doing. Like all of that is happening. I don't know if you guys know, me and her, we're interracial. Really? So
wow, no way.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You sure?
Hold on.
I didn't.
No, wait. Ancestry.com first.
Sidebar, Brian, when I picked him up from the airport, Brian cracked a joke. He was like, when you see us, there's gonna be like, I'm the white guy, and then I'm right next to like
I was
the
like,
black.
Brian, why did you say we don't know if he jokes like that?
And I'm like, that is literally our people. We crack jokes on
spirits, baby.
I'm like, I
was like,
knew
Brian.
it. We literally crack jokes on the pod, just being like, wait, you're white? Oh yeah. I'm black. Yeah. So safe space here. Anyways, saying that to say, well, I have a question.
Okay.
Have you always been into white guys? I need to know.
Are we going in? Are we going in?
No, we are going in because let me do this really quick. I have never dated or done anything with a white woman a day of my life. Done anything is absolutely crazy. I'm saying as in like I've never even looked at a white woman and been like, dang. And that's crazy because I went to a majority white school.
I was wondering. I was like, you went to a majority white? Okay.
Wait, first of all, how did you escape those white girls in Bloomfield High?
They wasn't because I had a high school sweetheart and she was yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
you say with her, say with her.
Yeah, it was good. But anyways, yeah, I ain't never since her and I had my thoughts about white women, and we've shared this before. I just didn't rock with them. So that's our backstory.
You know what? I appreciate that so much
because
I was low key wondering what your past was like, and not because I had a thought or anything.
Yeah.
It just gets nervous sometimes being with other interethnic relationships now because we don't know what their past was.
That's
and I say not to say that their past matters, but it's one of those things where, people have dapped us up being like, hey, good for going white. And I'm like,
hey, yo.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
I said, first of all,
off the brakes.
Or we see people that say, man, I'm so tired. And we
literally
just had this conversation.
Really?
Yes, we just did this on our podcast. We were talking about this because there's so many people that would come up to us and say, I'm so sick of my, sick of my black culture. I need to find somebody that's white. Sick of these black men.
Whatever.
Or the black men saying like, that's why I need to go white. I'm tired of these like attitudes, quote unquote attitudes and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, quote unquote.
In my mind, I'm like, what does that say about my brothers? What does that say about my mom? What does that say about my dad? What does that say about my culture in general? Like to say that all of them are trash, say my brother is trash, say my brother, like I don't, that doesn't make me feel good. And a lot of times interethnic relationships have come up to us or couples have come up to us and had that kind of reaction.
Wow.
Or the level of DMs. And I said this disclaimer last time, but we love our community.
For sure.
We love it.
And we
love you
appreciate,
guys.
I think, the spirit of what people are trying to say. But when we get these DMs, well, not say hundreds of comments and DMs of, can you help me find a white man? I'm so sick of this. I'm trying. Can you show me, girl? I want me a white man.
Yeah.
Or whatever. We're just like,
what's your response to that? Yeah, like what?
Yeah,
no.
Wow.
No. I know. No, I'm saying like, what are your guys' thoughts on people doing? Because we get those DMs too. How do you find a black man that does this, or how do you find a white woman who loves Jesus?
And formula.
Yeah, like what?
Like,
what did y'all think?
And I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people, they have these thoughts towards me as a black woman. They assume that I was searching a white guy out. because that is what they see on social media.
Wow.
And I'm not necessarily mad at them. I have empathy for them, but it's also like, dang, you can't see that we are the difference.
Right.
I used to think that we were the rule, but really we're the exception.
Yeah.
People that actually have chosen somebody not because of their race, but because of who they are. Right. We are actually the exception, which is really sad.
It's crazy.
It's really sad.
Yeah, no, I mean, we very wholeheartedly we advocate proactively against that mentality.
Yeah.
Of like, I need to find this specific type of
this
person
is my type of person.
my culture.
To say that like you're gonna find a white man and that's gonna be everything that you want, that's not the case. Like that's not how it works.
And it's not easy. I will say that it's not easy.
Right.
Being with any culture is not easy because they have to deal with certain things.
Yeah.
That's
being with having black on black love, that is not easy because of the things that they have to deal with.
Right.
Being in this relationship, if you do it right, and I'm gonna say there's a way to do it right.
For sure.
If you do it right, where you actually have some serious conversations of what it is like to be with a black person, makes it hard. And it's not always easy to have those conversations. And if you're having real conversations about it, it shows that you are trying to go deeper. We're going past the, oh, you cute, we can make this work.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think the wild thing in general is just when you say something like that, you're saying, I'm looking for a stereotype.
Yes.
Because you have stereotype white men or white females or
yeah,
whoever in your mind.
Yeah.
So you're saying, I am proactively looking for someone that fits a stereotype. And what that tells me is you are now not looking for someone who matches those other components that are so much more important. And making sure you're looking for a stereotype.
Yep.
Yeah.
Already.
Because if all the qualities that are in a man that you want, but he has the face of a black man, all of a sudden you have now discounted and shoved him aside because he doesn't fit my profile.
Or they want that exotic,
Oh, right. Yeah, they have
They're like, oh, I want somebody that's
fetish.
white. Yeah, it's a fetish.
Yeah,
Ew.
no, it really, that's kind of scary to think about.
What is your experience with that?
with the
Like
just
not
people,
ever dating white.
Feedback, social media, even people. I don't know if you have any other interactions.
Or even family members or anybody.
Yeah, well, I was actually going to ask y'all about family members because we actually haven't really dealt with that or whatever. And a lot of comments that we get, or a lot of DMs, personal DMs saying like, hey, my family doesn't accept my significant other because they are a different race or whatever.
Like, what's
but
your advice on
I'm
that?
in love with this person and I feel like God told me to be with this person or whatever, but I really can't be with this. Have y'all ever experienced anything like that? Yeah. Or can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Everything's on the table.
Come on. Because I'm super curious because I always want to give the advice like, well, I do give the advice and my main one is like, you're not marrying that mother or that dad or whatever. Yes, it's going to be tough and that's something different that, a lot of people have to deal with, but that's something that y'all have to have that conversation with and just obviously have God in the center of it. It's not going to really matter what your family or anybody thinks about. But I want to know if y'all have experience.
I want to, so I'm going to say something about that. Then I would like you to share a little bit more about our experience.
Yeah.
But I agree with you to an extent. Absolutely agree.
Okay.
You are marrying that person.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I'll add is like a caveat to it is that I would ask them the question, is this person worth going through what's going to entail all that comes with that?
That's real.
And are you prepared to go through what you're going to have to go through?
You personally. Yeah, that's good.
I can see a pathway where people can build up resentment towards their spouse because of that situation. You have now inadvertently, not your fault, but inadvertently caused a rift between me and the people that I've grown up with and love very deeply, right? If you are not very careful, those things can plant a lot of, discrepancy between you and your spouse that can turn into something very toxic.
Ugly. Yes. Yep.
And so you have to know your own level of emotional maturity to separate the two, to not hold anything against. Also be prepared just the difficulty of that interaction or lack thereof.
From the jump,
all of those things.
It comes with it.
Prepare for the person who's going to feel like they're isolated because their family's no longer involved.
It's
a lot.
It's huge. And that's why I personally say you are marrying the person, but I do feel that there's a level that you are marrying into a family.
You are. I agree with that.
And it's a level where it's like you know that the rift between them and their parents, like that's hard. You grew up with these people, you love them. Mm-hmm. So for you to really sacrifice all of this for one person is strong, and it is hard.
Now I'm the type of person that would Like,
what?
I mean,
for my woman, we gonna ride or die.
For sure.
And everybody can kick rocks if you're not with it.
For
Like,
sure.
that's how I'm built.
Yes.
So I would be willing, and I'm like, if I lose my family because they don't accept you, that's on them. That's
but not everybody
we'll
is
deal
like
with
that or strong like that.
But we just have to be very practical about is this going to end in divorce? Not because you don't love each other, but because you can't handle the pressure of the
pressure.
And there was moments where Brian had to stand 10 toes down for us,
Wow.
and I'm just being. And here's the thing, I like love my my mom and dad, and I don't even call them in-laws because we're just that close.
Same.
Yeah.
His mom is
Same
like
either.
my spiritual mother. I love her so much. And we've had them on our YouTube where they talked about how they struggled with certain concepts and trying to understand. They grew up in a black church. They've been around black people, but there was a level where we had to talk about certain things.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that I don't care if you have been around black people or whatever. When you marrying a black person, I just feel like there's always conversations that you need to have.
For sure.
And they were very receiving, very understanding. There was a situation where Brian had to really stand like 10 toes down and was like, look, you have to understand this. And it was with some family members, and it was one of those extended family members.
Families, yeah.
But again, you're marrying into a family, so they
sure.
are now having to stick up. So now his parents have to stick up for me with their extended family.
Which, unfortunately, at that time, they didn't see the bigger picture in the moment.
Okay.
But it was a very volatile situation to the point where I was literally ready to physically fight people in my family because it was becoming a physically dangerous environment for my wife.
Wow.
Lexi left, like, had to run out of the situation, and if she didn't do that, we were gonna be.
It would have been something different.
It was very bad and very dangerous for her. And in that moment, I was with my entire family.
Wow.
And nobody stuck up for us except us. So there was a process, a real process where the level of hurt and, it was very real. Like, and I blame it on naivety or ignorance or whatever you want to call it, just not understanding how to navigate and maybe not having courage to do it in the moment against people who are your siblings and whatever. But for me, it was like, if you don't get this or understand why you needed to do this, we have a real problem.
Wow.
And in that space, we had to step back from my family and really go through some healing and counseling with them and have some very hard conversations.
Man.
And Brian is really, really close to his family. So that's what I mean when I'm like, I saw how hurt Brian was that he had to stand up for me. And he had no problem standing up for me, but it was one of those things of like, I could be breaking relationship with people that I have loved my entire life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to do that. I need to do that, but it hurt,
Yeah.
Wow.
Things are great now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, no, definitely.
No, things are great. They are awesome. We, they live right next door to us. So
wow.
We love them. They have learned, this was what, 4 or 5?
Yeah, 5-6 years
ago. Yeah, 5-6 years ago. But it was a hard lesson for the whole family.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Has it been a constant? Is it still a constant thing till this day? In a good way of your family, his family, learning more about our culture?
It's been good.
And it's still but I'm saying, like, is it
evolving growth?
Yes. It's still which is.
Is it evolving growth?
I would say there are periods where there's conversation starts. So we went through like some heavy stuff.
Okay, we from the jump. Okay,
from the jump. When we were dating, Trayvon Martin happened. That was like,
got it.
Boom, we're in the thick of things. Great. Now we're really hitting these topics, right? Between Lexi and I and my family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then, as those events started happening, the concept of systemic racism, the concept of subconscious bias, and like what really bias looks like down deeper, like that, all that started to surface.
Yeah.
We uncovered a lot of things in myself and them throughout that whole process to the point where I think things started to stabilize, I would say, or the conversation was just draining emotionally for Lexi.
Yeah.
And I think things just started to kind of level out a little bit where we're all pretty much on the same page at this point.
And there's a level of like, as Black people, we don't have, our goal is not to teach white people.
No, it's not our job either.
It's not our job. Y'all do y'all research.
For
At
sure.
this point, I've done Thank you.
For sure.
I have done my due diligence. Look it up. So this is emotionally draining.
Yeah, educate yourself.
Educate yourself.
Yeah.
And there was a level where I told them, y'all need to educate yourself. I'm not this, and they educate.
Yeah.
When they do educate themselves. But there was just a level where they just got comfortable talking to me about it.
Yeah.
And especially during 2020, it was just heavy.
2020 was
and
tough.
there was so many conversations,
sure.
and we were living with all of them.
Wow.
So it was a lot of conversation. I was like, at this point, I am drained.
Right.
Y'all need to go find yourselves. Go find it, look it up.
Yeah.
So you guys but you haven't experienced any of like those family.
Not with family. I was gonna say it's funny because both of her parents are cops or whatever, and having those conversations.
That might have been interesting.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely.
So and we've had this conversation. We actually had a conversation on the pod a little bit on the podcast, talking about just police brutality and things like that, and her side of it or whatever. And it's not. What did you about to say?
Well, no, I was just gonna say it's something as simple as like you're saying, like, educate yourself. Because for me, growing up, like, I obviously knew racism was a thing, but it's being unaware just simply because I wasn't directly affected by it.
Yeah.
And it's, it comes down to, like, my parents, like, they're not affected either.
Right.
So, and not to say that it's okay that we're not educated, but, like, we didn't know. So I learned so much from Josh, like, obviously.
Yeah.
But then... Yeah, my parents being cops adds like a whole nother level, obviously.
And it's never been, with her mom, like it's never been awkward or anything to have those conversations. Because when you have people, like you were said, who are willing and wanting to do the work, it's a very different story. Because now they're just open arms. Okay, what can I do? Or
it's just a matter of just not knowing at that point.
Literally just not knowing or whatever. And then having her input too on police brutality, just with police brutality and just all the social things that are happening in the world with our culture and stuff. It's encouraging to hear on my end, because for me, especially when stuff like that happens, like let's say Trayvon Martin happens, I'm furious. Two, I'm upset. Like I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? It's emotional. And then you got all these other people passing away because of police brutality.
Yeah.
When I hear a police officer's heart behind it, and not behind it, and not defending or whatever, but when I hear an actual police officer who's literally been on the force and doing the stuff that these other officers who are dirty doing, and she's like on obviously our side of it softens my heart a little bit. It bridges the gap a little bit. Okay, but people don't know, y'all have been around. Y'all been around is crazy. Y'all have been married for 9 years.
It's going on 9
years in June.
Y'all got some skin in the game.
I feel like it's a little bit of skin.
And y'all met in high school.
Right after high school, so 2009.
Right after high school.
Yeah, and we started dating in 2010.
If y'all can give, what you about to say?
No, go.
For somebody who's about to be in their 10th year of marriage, what would be your number one? I was just talking about Savannah.
Good.
I was talking about because we're 4 years in, but I was like, when we get that 5, like it's a flex to be married.
It's a nice. Like we're still in this and happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
That is that's so real.
That's how I felt at 5. I'm like 5. We renewed our vows.
I was
like,
sometimes marriages don't last 2 years. Like
it's true.
A year.
Very true.
Yeah. Like you figure out, this is how you really are. Deuces. That ain't marriage. But we said the same thing. Like, it feels good to say that. But 10 years, what is something that y'all have, I don't want to do the basic advice. What is something that y'all have learned together? Like, what is something that is like, and it's happened maybe throughout the marriage or happened in the very beginning, but what is something that y'all feel like y'all learned through together?
You got one?
I thought you were going to say what you usually say.
No, but because he asked a different question. So
go for it.
We're not going to be basic out here today.
Okay.
Okay, so I think one thing that we have truly learned together, especially last year, and we've talked about this somewhat recently, is that we have learned to trust each other's hearts a lot more than we used to.
That is, that's real. So
when you finally get to the point where you can say without a shadow of a doubt, I know your heart.
Yeah.
It takes away so much of the questioning and like the assumptions and what did you mean by that? And I didn't like this or that. If I know your heart towards me, and I mean the depth of your heart, and it is for me, then it takes a lot of things out of the equation that are just unnecessary. I'll give you an example. there was a period we went through where both of us, we were stretched so thin, just capacity-wise. Timeline, we were both working super hard. We had the baby. I was trying to train for Ironman. Like, just so many things at once. And we had no time for anything. And we both felt completely depleted. And we turned towards each other as if they were the problem, right? Lexi, you're not doing enough for me because I don't feel full. Yes. Brian, you're not doing enough for me because I don't feel full. And we finally, through a little bit of counseling and through just conversation, we realized, wait, I feel like I'm sacrificing everything for you, and you feel like you're sacrificing everything for me. This isn't a heart issue. Yeah. This is just, let's call it what it is. This is a capacity issue. Right now, we just are struggling to have capacity, and we feel drained. And so looking at it from the perspective of, I trust that you are going to do what is best for me, and I'm going to do what's best for you, and that I have your best intentions at the core of my heart, it helps just get rid of so many filters that we just naturally have in our minds to clear past that and see what you're doing for what it is, and not it's also preventing unnecessary hurt either.
For sure.
Yeah, I just really trust that Lexi is doing what's best for me.
Unnecessary
and she's trusting that I'm doing it not for any other reason, but just what is best for you.
And if I'm doing it wrong, it's not because I'm trying to hurt you. Right. It's because it's not because I don't care. It's just because I don't know.
Because you don't know.
And I need to know what that looks like. And dang, you kind of like took mine, but
I
will say,
good.
I would say,
can I add one more little point to that though?
Please.
Okay, if you take mine, I'm like, no, go ahead.
Wait, what was the last thing you just said? I got to pick up my train of thought.
I trust that you're
doing best, and I just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God!
You lost that train of thought. That'd be me so many times.
Is the devil out here? Okay, so you were saying that you trust that I'm doing. I just don't know. Mm-hmm. You talk. I don't.
It'll come back once she starts talking.
It'll come back when I'm talking. I would say that I trust that you're doing the work to be a better person, to be a better husband, to be a better father. And I think that that's one thing that I feel that we've worked on the most, is that we believe that we know for a fact that we are not just trying to be, and not to say basic, but we're just not trying to be married.
Just going through the motions.
Just going through the motions. Yep. Our goal is to be the best couple that we can be for each other.
That's great.
Not for, the people, not for anybody else, but for each other.
Yeah.
And if I am frustrated at Brian for a moment, what I do, and this is one thing that we talk about, is that sometimes I can struggle with unforgiveness. Like, something can hurt me so much, I'm like, oh, like that really bothers me. And what helps me get past it is that I am looking at all the times where Brian has worked on himself, and he has progressed. He has gotten better. He has been a better person for me. And I know that once I talk to him, he will be a better person in that too.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel that we do best, is that we can go back and look at things and say, like, okay, I know that I can work on this, and we would actually put in the work. We're not lying about it. We're not just saying we're going to do it. Yeah. We actually put in the work.
When would y'all say, how long did this take to get to knowing this?
I feel like we've always been put in the work. Yeah. I would say with the trust issue of our hearts.
I think that was more me than Lexi.
Okay.
But you too, at a certain degree. I think, that epiphany happened last year.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
To that degree.
Yeah.
I think we realized it in measurements and levels, but it was a level where I think we just made the decision, like, from this point forward.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, I have been with you too long to be sitting here acting like I don't think you're doing what's best for me.
That's
like,
great.
I've been here too long, and I've seen too much from you. You love me too hard to question that anymore.
It's kind of like what we talked about in situations where you can have something, you're like, okay, I know we'll get through that.
Yeah.
And then you have another situation like, okay, I know. But then it was a heavy situation. We're like, okay, this is getting kind of tight. This is kind of tough. Like, I'm struggling here.
Right.
And I think that there's levels, like what Brian said, there's levels of moments where you feel this, like, you can trust each other. You can trust each other. Right. And then it gets to this point of like, wait, we're struggling.
Yeah.
Like, on trust and trusting that you're actually hearing what I'm saying. You actually, hear for me in this. We're in this together.
Right.
And it can be hard. When stuff gets tight, it can be hard.
That's so good.
That's really
I'm
good.
using that one because, like, 4 years into this thing, but there are still some times where, if I'm being transparent, it's like, do I trust that she's doing this for the sake, like, so we can be good, like, or is, you know,
are you thinking about yourself?
Yeah,
are you thinking just about yourself? And it's moments. It's real. Like, you have these moments where you're thinking, like, man, like, are you seeing me? Are you seeing what I'm dealing with? But also, I feel like immediately it's the click of, like, am I seeing the other person?
Great.
Am I feeling this other person right now? Let's have some moments where we're checking in, like, what does that look like?
Right.
And it can be hard when it's tough, y'all. I get it.
For sure. And that goes to show, too, that marriage is not just, like, you get married and it's just you, or eventually you arrive. Even at 10 years, you're not going to be like, we made it. This is our marriage. This is what it is every single day. It's, like, ever changing. And you're going to have to work through things every single day of your marriage.
Yeah. And if I'm being candid here, because it sounds like we are, the biggest thing that we talk, well, not the biggest thing. One of the things we talk about is, listen, I know a lot of marriages that lasted 50, 60 years, but they slept in separate beds. They
talk about
like each other. They were not happy. They
just
cheated.
put up with each other.
They put up with each other. And I think that's a different generation, to be honest, because that generation was like, sometimes the woman was stuck in her situation and didn't know how to get out. Sometimes it was just, we're just used to this. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm over glorifying people who just have a long marriage. That's not enough for me to be praising your relationship. It's not. I'm not applauding. My grandparents are perfect examples of it. Like, they're literally that story. So I'm like, I don't care how long you've been together. No offense.
No, for sure.
You have to be healthy and happy for me to now take what you're saying and go, okay, you
I trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I need a fruitful marriage. I need to see
the good. Like, that's so real.
That's good.
That's so real.
Man, we definitely could keep going. This always happens. This always happens. But I got some dope news for y'all. We about to go on Nate podcast and we about to just chop it up even longer, even more. Thank y'all so much for coming on for us.
Thank you guys. This was so great. This is so great.
We needed this. This was fun.
There are absolutely people that you meet for the first time, you're like, I have known you my
We're just cool.
100%.
We're just going to connect. We're just going to connect.
It just works.
I just need to now just know the details.
I don't actually know you.
Where are you from? Wait, I should ask that question.
Right.
Well, we appreciate y'all. Y'all definitely got to come back. You're definitely more than welcome. I guess next time we got to come to Michigan. Yeah, we got to come.
Please.
This summer, we got to do because Michigan in the
summer goes crazy.
Really? There's nothing like it.
Oh, you don't like it? Really? I like it.
Actually, what?
You got to at least give us the summer.
At least we ain't got nothing else.
I mean, I want to come here in the summer.
Actually, fall in Michigan.
I will give you that.
That is a cozy vibe.
I agree with that.
Nothing touch a cider mill, them bees and that. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Oh, the bee. Oh my gosh.
I'm already envisioning being there at the cider mill and them donuts.
Oh,
I know. Maybe we'll have to go in the fall.
Well, yes. So
we love y'all. We love you guys. I love you.
Love you. Do you hate love you? That's crazy, huh?
Love you, yeah.
Like, it needs to be, what do you guys think about that really quick?
Love
Does it have to be
I
love you? Like, I just said love you back.
I never even thought about it.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have an issue with it? You want to understand?
No. I don't care. She the one.
No, it felt weird, though, because you were like, I love you. And I was like, love you.
It's a more casual.
Love you.
Yeah, I was like, love you. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I said it. I love you.
I think if Ryan gets off the phone sometimes when he's irritated, he'll be like, all right, I love you, bye.
I do love it. When I'm hanging up the phone, I say love you. But something about like you looking at me and saying I love you, and then I said love you.
I look into your eyes and everything.
Weird.
It's actually
you were like, that was wild.
I'm
like, it was supposed to be a moment.
I love. I'm sorry.
Cry.
Okay.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yes,
y'all are the best.
Thanks.
Well, we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.